Welcome to the Star Bandit Podcast. My name is Marcus Elzel.
Hi, I'm Israel.
My name's Junaid.
Howdy, I'm Robbie Bland.
And we got a good show for you today.
Practice.
Practice Testcast for the third time.
Third Testcast.
Third Testcast.
Let's go.
3 strikes, you're out, right,
Easy
guys?
third.
Hey, third time's the charm.
That's true.
4th? Ooh.
Oof.
We were looking for another mic for Caleb to be in today, but seemingly we've lost it.
And we
Yeah.
couldn't find it because we didn't have Caleb's help.
At all.
Because he was he took a laxative.
He was on the shitter. Caleb King, everybody.
And he came out for a minute and was like, "Oh, let me help you. And then he had to run back to the bathroom.
Yeah, he.
Wait, you ran back to the
he
bathroom?
he was on the shitter, and he got off, and he was like, "Okay, I'm clean now. I'm empty. I'm ready for the show." And I'm like, "Caleb, no, you're not. You're gonna be back on the shitter in like 5 minutes." He starts looking for the mic, then he turns to me. He's like, "Fuck, I got to shit again." And then now he's on the shitter.
When he got out, I was there, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you want to see my shit?" And I was like, "Sure, Caleb."
Classic.
And then I went, and
Did you look?
a lot came out of him, and so I'm surprised
Damn.
he's still
Did
needing to go.
Did the mic come out?
Well-
Maybe the mic was in there. I didn't look that hard.
You got to remember
didn't need
Caleb
the mic
King's
to
diet, and you got to understand how backed up he was.
What is his diet?
All he eats is like fucking candy and pizza and chicken.
And he's still fairly
burger.
skinny.
He's got a really good metabolism,
Yep.
but
Yep.
that don't last much longer.
He was like, "No, I won't have to shit during the podcast. I won't. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
this laxative. It'll be fine."
I knew that was some bullshit.
It happens to the best of us.
It
Actually,
does.
no, it only happens to him.
It happens to my best friend.
Easy shit.
Viewers don't know, but Caleb and I, for about a year, had our own podcast called the Spaz Out Podcast, and this was kind of routine as far as recording schedules go. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, let's record a podcast tonight," and we wouldn't be recording the podcast until early in the morning the next day.
Yep.
Staying up,
Yep.
getting prepared for the show.
Yep.
I'd get off of work around like 8 or 9 or 10 p.m. sometimes. I'd drive right over to his house. I'd be like, "Caleb, we got to set up for the podcast." Yeah. We'll get set up for the podcast. And I get there. He's in the middle of a League video game. No, nothing is set up. Nothing is ready.
You left the mic.
Then we start preparing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen here, like
All the time.
inevitably.
It is.
Even when we try as hard as we can, there's still that last piece of the puzzle that we can't get without Caleb because
Yeah.
he took a laxative and he's in the bathroom,
Or he just lost his mic and doesn't know where it is.
Shit now.
which both happened actually.
I was taking
Today.
a shower once, and I was playing Rage Against the Machine,
Oh, hell
and he was
yeah.
just so excited about it, and he was screaming, "I love that song! Junaid, I love that song!" And then when I got out, I realized that he got so excited that he took shaving cream and put it all below the door and like filled it completely, like it was coming out of the other side, and almost tripped. But he had to tell me via like shaving cream that he really loved that song.
Hey, Junaid,
Hey, it's better
Or was it you?
it's
the
better
shaving
than
the
texting.
shaving cream is me.
God,
Okay, I was like, that doesn't sound like something he'd do. He normally
I was-
doesn't make a mess.
I was very perplexed by that.
What's
I
your
was
favorite-
like, I can't explain my rationale.
What's your favorite song from Rage?
My favorite song is Renegades of Funk.
Nice.
What's yours?
Probably Wake Up. It's kind of basic, but I really
Is that
like
good,
it.
too.
Wake up.
Yeah, it's the Wake Up. Like basically like halfway through the ending.
I don't know.
I don't
that
think
one.
the riff is I've heard the riff in a bunch of songs before, like the opening, like da na 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 na. I don't know if they invented that or
Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
probably.
Oh yeah,
probably.
that was Kashmir.
Okay.
But like
makes
that
sense.
was not even the only thing that happened. Like whenever I take a shower, the other day I took a shower, I come out, there's a fucking door in front of the. There's like a door blocking me from coming out of the shower. because someone decided to put it there.
Just like
Don't say someone. You know who the culprit is.
and
Yeah, that was me.
Just like,
Yeah, like
you're the new Dalton. We'd put like a mattress in front of
There are some very basic like rules I've come to learn in living in this house full of my friends, and it's that Caleb King will always make noise and run late. Marcus will always do the most strangest, outlandish, odd,
putting-
mysterious thing
putting-
just for the sake of it, and will refuse to explain his rationale, his reasoning, what inspired him. No hints, nothing. Marcus lived here for a little while, just about a year ago. He had a painting of himself. He would always hide it in a different spot each day. And so it was almost like a game. I'd wake up, and before work or after work, after I get home, I'm just walking around the house wondering, where's that goddamn painting today? Sometimes it's in an obvious spot, like above a staircase. Sometimes it's in a obscure spot. Like
I have no idea how you remember this.
I
The only
do.
reason why I remember this is because you you tell the story.
I vividly remember the experience because I'm like, this is what it must be like living with Marcus.
I remember it because it was the first 2 weeks I moved here, right? Because you came in.
yeah.
Yeah. What happened? Did your apartment flood again, or just no place?
No, I was kicked out of the living arrangement I was in because I went to New York with Janaid and Dalton.
You guys pants yourselves.
Because
down.
I had a place on site where my job was, and I had to stay in that place. And they were like, "Oh, if you ever have to go on vacation, we get it. It's summer. You want to travel or whatever. Just let us know a week and a half in advance." And so I was like, "Cool." And so I let them know a week and a half in advance. And the day before, they were like, or maybe it was a few days before, they were like, "Oh, you need to find someone to cover your shift." And I was like, "Oh, no problem." And I found someone to cover it. And then they were like, "Oh, you were booked for 2 shifts at the same exact time. You have to find someone to cover your other shift too." And I was like, "Well, why can't one person do that?" Because one person was going to do that, and that was myself. And they were like, "Oh, whatever," and made up some excuse. So I got someone to cover it. And then I sent an email to my boss's boss, and I was like, "Hey, just letting you know this is going on. I don't think it's fair, and I just want to let you know my side of the story." And then he called me into a meeting and was like, "So you're going to this New York trip?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right, so either you stay and work here, or you go to the New York trip and you're fired and we kick you out and we don't give you food anymore." And I was like, "Well, I already bought the tickets." And so I took that other option, and then I had to leave. And I spent 2 weeks at Dalton's apartment when he wasn't even living there, sleeping on either the couch or Dalton's bed or the floor, because one time Dalton decided to come visit and did not tell me that he was coming to visit. And so I went to go sleep in his bed because the couch was full. And I saw a little kid sleeping in it, and that little kid was Dalton. And so I slept on the floor next to him without a blanket or a pillow. It was awful.
Like a fucking dog, man.
And then I helped him move out, and then I moved into this house. And
Nice.
now I live here, and it's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And if anyone's wondering, what is Marcus's current game looking like?
Game?
There is a foot-long monster dildo somewhere in this house.
I didn't know what was I expected from that sentence.
I still need to.
Yeah.
I still need to make Penis Day. Rachel recorded half of it, and I just need. It's like the trilogy.
Oh,
there
you
was
do.
there was Bird Day. There was the Dalton Painting Day, and now
Chocolate
there's
Day.
yeah
It's
Chocolate
explains
Day,
so
Dalton
much of
night.
this.
and
yeah.
then there's Penis Day.
Um,
The trilogy.
those are stories we can get into, but as far as the dildo goes, I had no idea what was going on. I just checked Snapchat one day, and all my friends had a picture of a dildo on their Snapchat and videos of them throwing it around. I come home from work. I find the dildo in a pot in boiling water on the oven, and
Okay.
Everyone is
okay.
like hiding from me and doesn't want to look me in the eyes.
Okay, so we were okay. What happened was, you tell your
Okay,
side.
so how I found it was I would go on these walks, right? Like around dinner time. So I would go for about 30 minutes. I put my headphones on and I go by this house and I look at the front yard and there's nothing there. So and then I go like my usual route and then come back. And in that span of time, there was like a trash bag full of things next to like a pole or something and a huge dildo just like
Wait, so it wasn't there before?
no, but then they came and threw it on
What?
the yard. Yeah. So
Wow.
so I see this.
There's a story behind that,
There's a big story about this.
and
There's a
it's
lore
probably more
here.
interesting than this one.
We should get them on the podcast to interview.
Yeah, there's like, are they taking revenge on this house?
We should knock on the door and be like, "Hey, what's the dildo for?"
Hey, you missing any dildos that you would need?
You know, there's
resist.
Any
some
crevices you need filled?
Please don't
There's-
resist. We're just asking questions.
there's some things best left unknown.
Yeah, this might be one of them.
Maybe so.
Because what if we find out and it's just something just awful, like
Yeah.
horrible?
I don't want to know where the dildo's been. I want to know where the dildo is because it's in my house somewhere.
I don't know any woman that could take that. You know what I mean? That was like
You never
that was
know.
Janae,
terrifyingly
you never
big.
know.
Spend a few hours on the internet.
could've just been a joke.
You'll
It
you'll
could've
you'll
been
find a
no-
woman that can take it.
You know, some girls give birth.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
Yeah, you
So-
know that.
So I
Apparently.
come back home and tell everyone, and they're like, "You should get it." So I take a plastic bag, and go back to the place where I found it, and without touching it, I somehow get it into that bag. And
I don't believe that you did.
I
No,
did
no,
not
he,
touch
he,
it.
He did. He did the classic picking up my dog shit thing where you put your hand in the bag
Yeah.
and then you grab it and then you
It's
know.
like- it was
Because
like
of the
Indiana-
form of the object, that was harder than you think.
No,
I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
It was like Indiana Jones swapping it out for another
It
dildo.
was I held it.
Swapping it out with my
Yeah.
flashlight.
Oh
It
god.
was I held
Did,
it
did
and
someone
I had
just
to
say my fleshlight?
This is a
Yeah, that's
test
another-
cast. This is
that's
a
another
test
topic.
cast.
Too much
We're not very.
backstory.
That's all. That's
So
all,
I hold it.
that's
I
all for
hold it
sex.
and I throw it, and then I have to open the bag and like catch it, right? And then I bring it home, and from there we decide to have like shenanigans about this.
Well, you decided to go back on your walk, and so.
Oh yeah, I
you-
forget that part. I was
you-
like, I didn't even try. I didn't even see the comedy potential as soon as I got it. I just got it.
Yeah.
And said, okay, you guys figure this out, and I keep going on my walk.
Comedy potential.
Janae leaves. I'm holding the bag with the dildo in it, and as a
I was just
joke,
disgusted.
we were all grossed out,
So grossed out, you had to bring it home.
and we throw it on the ground, and it bounces like a bouncing ball.
That as
It
does.
bounces, and so then we get the guts to pick it up with a pair of tongs, and we start throwing it on the ceiling and trying to get it to stick to the ceiling, which it won't do. And then we stick it to things, and it makes the most disgusting noise when it
boy.
unsticks from something, and it'll wag when you touch it, and you push it to one direction when it's stuck to something. It'll start wagging back and forth.
You put it in the fridge and it just like wagged around.
It was a monster
put in
of
the
an
fridge?
object.
It's a great
You know?
metronome.
Oh yeah, it was put in the fridge.
Yeah, it was like a honey
God,
at home.
Yeah.
Damn
We
it.
you'd open the fridge and then this penis was in your face.
It would slap you in the face if you opened it. Yeah.
And so then
I'm glad I missed that art.
Junaid came back and he saw a house full of people holding tongs, throwing this rubber penis in the air and catching it. And he's like, what the fuck did I walk in on? I just enabled this thing to happen. And so we start playing with it with tongs, of course, because
And
all of us
just
are
so
too
we're
afraid
clear,
to touch it.
Just so we're clear, Janaid also joins in,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Jay-
yeah.
of course. We
further
start throwing it at each
further
other.
enabling the insanity.
We start like he has a pair of tongs and I have a pair of tongs, and I try to throw it to him and he tries to catch it with his pair of tongs. And at some point, we were playing with this dildo, and we hear the stairs start to creak, and then we're like, "Oh no! Oh god! You hear that? It's Robbie coming!" And then it was Rachel. She was like, Robbie's coming, Robbie's coming. And then Junaid's like, no, no. And then all of us are like, no, Robbie's coming. And we start running and running and running and running. And we all hide outside
Look at
because
that
we're
peak.
terrified that Robbie's coming. And
so
it was
this is
Israel.
probably the best time to switch point of view.
This wasn't you. This is when Israel joined the game.
Oh.
And then he got his side of the fun.
And then
Now later you did end up coming. But
not in that way.
yeah,
Right.
not
That
then.
was even later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came down angry and just like he was very disappointed by us.
I was
Me
not
or
angry,
Robbie?
but I
No,
was
you.
certainly disappointed.
Yeah.
I wasn't angry.
Israel
I
came
was
down
trying
and he was
to- I
peeved
just
and then
looking.
a little curious. And then
I
he
was
joined
like,
in on the
what
fun.
the fuck is going on? Because I
Yeah.
kept hearing from like up there. I'm like, what the fuck
So-
are they doing? I checked the Snapchat and Rachel sends a picture of the dildo and
Yeah.
I'm like,
That was an
And
accident,
she's
by
like,
the way.
"Oh, I didn't
no
mean-
one was
I didn't
supposed
mean
see
to
that.
send it."
Yeah, she wasn't.
and then
yeah,
whatever.
That's
she ended up
also-
posting it on her spam anyway.
yeah.
Anytime I'm like, what are these people up to? I open up Snapchat or Instagram.
Well, I didn't. I thought it was just like them, just like throwing a ball up there, like Marcus throwing your fucking water bottle, like just dropping it. Hey guys, I'm home. Oh no!
Jesus.
And throwing it around.
Marcus is learning how to juggle, and
With his water bottle.
metal water bottle
Look at how
is his,
creaked up in. I can't
Dude,
say that
I
word on
can
the
juggle.
podcast.
Hold on.
his metal
This is
water
how we do it.
bottle is the
Got to turn on the camera on the
experiment.
microphones.
and he consistently drops it.
Nice.
And every time he drops it, you hear a loud ka-thunk.
Oh shit! I'm only hearing it. Oh, never mind.
Almost
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Anyway, I was
So
like,
definitely we were trying to throw the dildo like where we thought Robbie's room was under.
yeah, but it was under me.
Yeah, it was under you,
Don't-
so we got you first down there.
And I thought you guys were like sticking it to the wall and then pulling
And,
it back off.
This whole time, I'm in the shower.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
you just
on?
thought there was a home invasion. People were getting shot downstairs.
It might as well have been.
Didn't
Shot
you?
by
Weren't
fucking
you
cum.
convinced we were trying to like prank you or something?
Yeah, so I already knew about the dildo.
Yeah.
And when I got in the shower, I'm like, I am now in an incredibly vulnerable position. And I live with people that love to take advantage of vulnerability. So I'm like, there's going to be a few things that are going to happen, and they're all going to affect me as soon as I get out of the shower. Either it's going to be attached to the door, I'm going to open the door and be like, oh, ha ha, there's a dildo on the door. Oh, who did this? Or they'll be more subtle. And it's usually the more subtle thing that wins out. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out. I'm going to walk into my room. I'm going to start putting on clothes. And then I'm going to look, and my giant Hulk sticker on my wall is just going to have a fat fucking cock attached to it. That's what I was fully expecting. And to my surprise, to my disappointment, there was no cock on my giant Hulk sticker on my wall. There was relief, but also anxiety. Because if it's not where I expect it, then where is it?
Yeah.
So I come downstairs, and that's when everyone does the, oh, Robbie's coming. Oh, Robbie. No, Robbie's coming. No. Of course, I didn't hear this happening, but they heard me walking and then all scrambled. I come downstairs into an empty house, dead silent.
The rapture happened.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? They were making so much noise before. Are they okay? I cautiously move around the living room, and then there's Marcus laying flat on the floor in the living room next to the couch. And I don't know if he knows I'm looking at him or if this is like hide and seek, but I'm like, okay, Marcus, what's going on? And then I'm like, is the dildo hidden somewhere? Where is it? Is it in my room? Is it in my closet? What's going on? And then he's like, no, wait. And he thinks about it. I'm like, oh. And then he's like, no, it's not. Because, again, Marcus always has to have a mystique, a mystery to solve, even if there really isn't one. That's when I then learn, no, the pot boiling on the oven is the dildo.
Yeah. We were trying to purge it of its impurities. so that way we could maybe one day touch it with our fingies.
And that is
Luckily, it's not the fucking rice bin.
Yeah.
that is the last time I saw it. I
Yes.
to this day do not know where it is.
Sometime after that is when I hit it, and I did end up changing the hiding place a few times.
But also everyone else, all like 6 other people involved in this incident were hiding outside. And I'm like, Marcus, where is everyone? And he's like, I don't know. Because that's Marcus's favorite thing to say if he wants to, get you guessing about things. I'm like, are they outside? How would you feel if I locked all the doors right now and locked everyone outside? He's like, I don't care. And so I did. Only for a few minutes later for Marcus to realize the joke has already peaked and to go get everyone from outside.
Yeah. And they were by that time I think had gone out to the front. Is that what y'all were doing?
We went out to the front of the house, and then we were like, "Oh, he's coming on the other side." So we really just went to the other side of our neighbor's house.
And we hit on over their cars.
Yeah, some people went like maybe 5 blocks, and they hid behind cars, trees.
Really?
One person a hammock. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, y'all hid in a hammock?
Yeah, no, behind one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we should get a hammock though.
We should totally get
You
a
know,
hammock. But we don't have trees.
People
There's like those ones where you can just
That's
get the
true,
2
that's
bars.
people visit and they're like, wow, this is kind of a sketch neighborhood. But
Yeah.
for you to be able to
get why.
hide
Wait.
By
people
our
say that's a
neighbors-
sketch
Okay,
neighborhood?
My parents
if
did.
they're your parents did?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, Israel, I don't know if we should be going
What?
here." When they visited,
Weird. Okay.
and our favorite classist and star bandit,
Dalton.
the Dude Anderson. Should I say his full name?
he'll be on the
loves it.
He'll be on the
love
podcast
it.
one
Yeah,
day. He'll be famous, and
Exactly.
this will expose him.
He's got some issues with the way
Lawns.
he kind of looks down on people sometimes.
Yeah, it's probably a poor area if
Yeah.
a lawn or two is unkept.
That's like
And in his eyes.
yeah. And so he's also a little sketched out when he visits sometimes. And we're like, Dalton, we promise you'll be fine.
Yeah, I found that people who are born in Austin think our neighborhood is sketchy.
Mhm.
So Carrie and my boss, they both think this is like the ghetto.
No,
And I think it technically is.
Sure.
But
What?
there are like some. There are
on
like
an Austin standard, it might be. Now take that and apply it to Detroit or something or Chicago.
no, it's a
Houston,
suburb.
Houston.
even is
Yeah,
like,
that ghetto is obviously a ghetto. Apparently, we live in a ghetto.
yeah.
Does not look like it at all.
I've walked around here at like
But the thing is
12 or 1 at night, and nothing happened.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do
But
that all the time. Yeah.
the thing is like there's just not a lot of places that look bad in Austin, I guess.
Unless you're like an old lady Karen who goes on the neighbor app, and then some weird guy in a
Yeah.
hoodie walks by and takes
There-
a picture
there's-
from your
It's
blinds.
you every time.
Yes.
There's some like bad apartments, I guess, but like neighborhoods, I don't think there's very
Yeah,
many in Austin.
The worst parts of Austin are tangential to 6th Street.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy. Yes.
yeah.
We all got a story there.
And 6th Street is the place where most of the rich people spend their money, so it's completely counterintuitive.
Yep.
It is the place where the
Sixth Street
most
is
rich
a
people are.
monster.
Rich people aren't known for making areas better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
6th Street, there's a few things to be said about 6th Street.
There's
boy.
plenty of things.
Yeah.
To wrap up the neighborhood, it's all a matter of perspective.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Some people have incredibly narrow standards,
Yeah.
but
What would have to happen in this neighborhood for you to think it's a ghetto?
I
If
guess.
our neighbor, like direct neighbor, got like shot in their own home or something,
Multiple violence or murder cases, which
or stolen
There are-
cars,
there
or
are-
if our cars got broken into, actually,
Yeah.
that,
Along-
that would be a big one.
a lawnmower stolen or two.
one
Yeah.
time our roommate, former roommate Scott, who will be the subject of many stories on this podcast,
Oh, man.
I must tell you in advance. Something to know about Scott: his favorite thing to do, besides playing video games all day, is to go to Whataburger, a local fast food chain here in Texas at 4 a.m., get a Whataburger with just cheese and ketchup only, an order of fries, a Powerade, and some cookies. And
Two cookies, right?
2 cookies.
2 cookies.
you
Two
best
or
not
more.
forget the cookies. Well, sometimes he comes home from that Whataburger order. Well, every time he comes home. And one night, he just left his car unlocked and his passenger door wide open. And I was still going to school at the time, so I had to wake up early in the morning to go to school. I come out, I see his door just wide open, and immediately I'm like, oh shit, someone broke into Scott's car. And so I go over to his car. I'm like, okay, does it look like anything's been stolen or tampered with? What's going on here? I kind of just flip around through his belongings. Any passerby might have thought I was breaking into his car, but it didn't look like anything valuable was stolen. Then again, I'm not sure. So I take a picture. I lock Scott's car and then close the door. And I'm like, hey, Scott, just so you know, when I came out this morning, your door was wide open.
Yeah.
So double check, see if anything's been stolen.
Yeah.
Apparently, nothing was stolen or tampered with. And that's as far as I know about that situation. But if we lived in a sketch neighborhood, that car would have been stripped or stolen
Oh, for sure.
outright.
His seats would be gone.
Yeah, or his radio would be taken.
Yeah,
He had a
yeah.
pretty like new car. His
Yeah.
parents bought it new for him.
Yeah. Do people even steal radios anymore? Is that a thing?
When I was a
Rumors.
kid,
when I was a kid, for sure.
I had a Shrek soundtrack that I listened to in my
No.
mom's car all the time.
No.
And then one day the radio was stolen with the Shrek
Oh,
CD.
no.
That's
I've
so
had-
sad.
I've
Yeah.
had like 5 different robbery stories. Basically, to sum them all up, they just broke down our front door and then took our TVs and our
Were y'all there?
jewelry. No, it would be like, oh, we're going to the store, and then like people would come over, just kick it down the door, and then just take the TV or
Oh my god.
parents' clothes. It happened like twice in the
They
same
would steal
neighborhood.
clothes.
Yeah, and they'd leave the house a mess, and the police would come over, just look, and then leave. Nothing
Yeah,
they could
there's
do.
nothing you can really
No,
do.
just
Wow.
really eyewitness counts and maybe security cameras.
When I was a kid, in the village that I lived in, and everyone knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So one time it was pretty safe, and one time a guy from another village or something in the city just came and like broke in some guy's house, and they figured that out, and everyone knew in the span of minutes, and the entire village was after this one guy. And my father just like he wakes me up at like 3 a.m. just so that I can like go on his shoulders and go see the whole town beat the shit out of one guy.
Oh man.
Oh man,
That okay.
that's not something you get to see every day.
Was
Yeah.
it scary? Or
You
was
must
It was
funny?
awesome.
You must have lived in a really tight knit community.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they were really not happy, and it's like
Yeah.
the opposite of that was when, like a monkey came into the town, and like everyone had to go see it at the same time. You know?
A random monkey.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
A
came-
random monkey event.
Like,
like-
just went.
Yeah,
Strolled
it's
into-
like, if
why are there so
anything-
many random monkeys?
If anything happened, it would just be like everyone should know at the same time.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I can't wait to go visit one day.
That makes me wonder of how stressful it was, like stealing bread in like Egypt, back in like
Oh.
ancient times.
Yeah.
Lose the hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Lose a fucking hand.
Lose
Out
a
of
hand.
Aladdin.
And everybody would watch and be like, "Yep, this is justice. Yeah, he stole a loaf of bread. He needed
Yeah.
this.
rehab.
They'll never do that again."
No
The-
reform.
The one time something was stolen from this house was roughly a month after we first moved in, and we had a lawn. And we're like, okay, we have a lawn, so we have to mow this lawn regularly, or else we get love notes from the HOA, and no one wants love notes from the HOA. So
Not interested.
we bought a lawnmower, fresh from Home Depot, brand new. We all split it, spent like $50 each for a $200 lawnmower. We mowed the lawn one time, and then Caleb King, my best friend, he builds a Caleb King show set. You can watch that on YouTube, Caleb King show, in our garage. And overnight, the garage door where the Caleb King show set is, with all of Caleb King's camera equipment and our lawnmower are stored, is left open overnight. The garage is left open. We wake up.
Which isn't normally a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know I've lived in, neighborhoods that were not rich neighborhoods, and we
Yeah.
leave the garage door open, and you'd be fine. We'd
Yeah,
leave it open for a week, and you'd be fine.
Normally, it's not something you have to be careful about.
Exactly.
But
And it's never a habit for us to leave the garage door open.
did in your neighborhood, did the garage have a handle on the outside you could lift open it with?
Yes, but you could never, like, it was on the track, and
Yeah.
so if you tried, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, that happened with me, but I think me or my brothers like broke my sister's finger on it because
Oh.
putting it down, it got stuck in the middle where it's closing.
Oh my
Damn.
god.
Yeah,
That
that's
sucks.
another different story.
Go ahead.
My childhood home had a handle on the outside. Something I noticed specifically in moving into this neighborhood is none of the garage doors. I mean, none of the garages have that handle on the outside for you to
Yeah.
open the door with. It was just something small. I didn't think about it much. Well, the next day we wake up. We're whatever. We go downstairs. We see the garage is open still, and we're just playing around, and we notice, the lawnmower's missing. And then our neighbor apparently watched the whole thing happen.
And didn't stop it.
At 10 a.m., a truck pulled up. The guy got out, walked through our driveway, which had like 3 cars in it, a packed driveway, walked past our cars, grabbed the lawnmower out of the garage, put it in his truck, and left. And so our good Samaritan neighbor didn't video anything, didn't take pictures, just wrote down the license plate.
That guy, it's not like he was driving around looking for a lawnmower to steal. And it's not like he was, targeting us either.
Yeah.
No.
And so he was probably just saw an opportunity and went at it. And
I
was
think
like,
he's in that state of mind all the time when he's driving. It's just like,
yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good time right now.
There's a shelf in the back of Cane's. Let
Yeah.
me just take it. By the way,
And,
did you see our new shelf in the backyard?
That I'll see it another time.
It's a shelf at the back of Cane's.
Yeah, we found a shelf in the back of Cane's, and we
Is,
stuffed it in Brandon's truck.
How big is this shelf?
It's big.
Does anyone have dibs on it?
We were gonna keep it outside because it's kind of nasty.
Then yeah.
It has
It's
a
a-
glove that's melting on it.
It's a metal shelf.
Yeah.
It's a metal
Oh.
shelf. And so right now there's like a plant or two on it, and we might keep it for like
That's a good
outdoor
idea.
gardening stuff or
Good
something.
idea.
But
Well-
if you need a shelf, we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah. I just need a shelf for my room, put all my comic book boxes on. But that's a story for another time.
That's not a story at all.
That's a description
Yeah.
of what you need. That's a Facebook
But hey,
Marketplace
Hey,
description.
Patreon,
there's-
Patreon.
There's a story for everything.
That's a Craigslist ad.
Yeah.
Go for
My
it.
comic collection is growing too large, and I am over encumbered at the moment.
If you have a shelf that you'd like to donate to Robbie Bland, feel free to email us at
gotta-
stopminutspodcast@gmail.com.
It's got to be a big shelf. It's got to fit long comic book boxes on it. Anyways, I want to remind you, in that garage was expensive cameras and the camera equipment with like lights and microphones and lenses, because we weren't thinking we had to be too careful. Even like, tripods and whatnot. The only thing taken out of that garage was a lawnmower. So we were all very grateful. We learned our lesson. We never left the garage door open again.
Awesome.
Yeah, y'all haven't. Like
And
ever.
We got another lawnmower several months later after several love notes from the HOA. They're quite infatuated with us.
Yeah.
But ever since we got the new lawnmower and have been mowing regularly, they stopped writing. I almost miss them.
I'm surprised they didn't write us any notes yet for our nasty ass trash mess in our front yard, because the trash guys won't take up the cardboard for some reason.
Yeah, the trash guys only take what's in the cans, and so
Which is
anything to the
weird.
side of the
Can
road.
we just get
they
another
don't take.
can? have
We
a
should
lot
probably
of-
get one.
We have
Yeah.
a lot of people
Probably be a good
and
idea.
a lot of trash,
Yeah, especially since we occasionally miss trash days.
That works.
which is
That
like
works.
detrimental
Yeah.
to our household.
There was a time we kept missing trash days like regularly, so we just loaded my car up with all the trash and then just found a dumpster
man.
and threw
The
everything
back
in
of
it.
the back of Papa John's.
How much is a dumpster?
Right? Okay. I think you can rent them from the city. Because, like, people, like construction companies, when building a house and stuff and then doing the cleanup, they'll rent a dumpster and put it in the driveway.
Yeah,
And then they'll put all the trash in there, and then the like, trash truck will come and pick it up.
that's a cool concept, but our roadway is already very crowded. We don't need to put a giant dumpster
That
there.
was the best thing about my apartment, is that the dumpster was right there.
Yeah.
And so no matter what I wanted to throw away, whether it be a piece of furniture, shattered glass, whatever, normal trash, a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could
dog
always go there.
bones,
Dog bones?
dead people.
Yeah,
whatever.
dead people. Yeah, dog bones, anything.
Dogs?
For
Dogs.
For legal record,
kids.
the members of the Star Bandit podcast have never, and I mean never, hidden a dead body in a dumpster.
But if you,
You don't
find
know
any
that.
evidence, feel free to share it with us at starbanditpodcast@gmail.com.
Contact
Yeah.
our
Also,
lawyers.
in that contact, include your address and full name and a picture of
You can
yourself.
contact our
And
lawyer.
when you're free, usually.
You can
Yeah.
contact our lawyer.
Give us your
Kathy.
usual hours, maybe your place of work.
Contact our lawyer at Kathy Douglas, Austin Attorneys.
So remember earlier in the podcast I said there are things I expect from each of my roommates. Caleb is loud and messy. Marcus is mysterious and full of intrigue. Israel will always make an inside joke, even if no one else in the room understands it.
Aunt Kathy. You guys get it. You guys need to get a lawyer.
Okay, I remember. I remember
I know who Aunt
Okay,
Kathy
just making
is.
sure. I didn't.
I remember.
But
No,
Scott.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
No listeners of this show will know who Aunt Kathy
they can
is.
find Aunt Kathy on Facebook, on conservative Facebook.
There.
groups.
Okay, we have a friend named Scott, as we told you already that we're going to tell stories about. He has inside jokes that no one knows about. I mean, no one. He has inside jokes with himself.
Fanaron, might as well boner.
Yeah.
That is the best way to put it. They're just inside jokes with himself
Yeah.
more often than
And
not.
so one time he was like, like I think Dalton like stuttered and then gave up on talking or something, and then Scott was like, your frames went down to fucking 3, and then none of us reacted to it. We're like, oh, whatever. Scott just said some random whatever, cares. And then he said it again, and he started spamming frames went down to fucking 3. And then I was like, Scott, what is that? Is that an inside joke? And then he was like, you don't know what that's from? And he was like, how do you not know what that's from? And I was like, I don't know, Scott. Give me a break and just show me what it's from, or explain the inside joke. And so he pulls out his phone and he goes to some like random league YouTuber and playing this random video of some guy playing League. And it's not even a video with a lot of views. It's not even somebody that I recognize as someone to be reputable, I guess. I never heard of the video, never heard of the guy. And he scrolls like 7 minutes into the thing, and it's just these people playing League. And there's this kid who's playing with them, and he's in a call, and he gets killed. And then one of the teammates is like, "Hey, what happened?" And then the kid's like, "Frames him down the fucking 3." And Scott just thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and thought that he just had to share it with everybody, despite nobody knowing what it meant, nobody understanding the like what it means to him as a joke.
The person in the video never even said it like that. He just said, my frames went down to fucking 3.
Yeah.
And it was not even a joke. He was in the middle of a video.
Yeah,
Nobody in the
yeah.
comments
Maybe he
knew
was
that.
watching it at like 0.25 speed.
0 people in the world thought that was funny, except for Scott. He's the only one who thought that was funny.
To give Scott some credit, when we say League, we're speaking of League of Legends, a game he is violently addicted to.
Caleb too.
As well as my best friend, Caleb King.
is usually on the podcast.
Currently
Um,
betting
yeah.
with his
But-
brother.
He's currently shitting with the laxative.
Caleb King and Scott do have a friend group that they play League of Legends with a lot. And so presumably within that specific inside group, it could be an inside joke.
I don't think so because
I-
Caleb had no idea what it meant.
I'm just giving him the benefit.
And then the oh, you made it to the end. You're a ducking beast.
I picked up on that one like after I didn't know what they were talking about, and one night I'm like I can't fucking sleep, so I'm looking for content to watch on YouTube, and I find those Reddit text to speech
God,
videos.
I hate those.
I found them
hate those.
they're very entertaining at 3 a.m. I haven't watched them since though.
It's definitely 3 a.m. content.
Yes, and then the guy goes, "You made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll cut you a deal." And then he's like, "If you
I'll cut you a
subscribe,
deal."
I'll give you 36 points of Reddit gold. You're a ducking based or something."
You're
Yeah.
a ducking beast.
You're a
And so
ducking beast.
The
Ducking
takeaway
beast.
is
And-
if Scott hears something funny in a YouTube video, he will repeat it until everyone is saying it because Scott
It's a parrot.
is a parrot, but
He's a parrot.
like you understand how like cancer works, right? Like
oh, that's cancer.
it just spreads and spreads and spreads until your whole body is cancer and you die. That's an exaggeration, but Scott is a meme cancer cell where he will repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again
until we die.
until we die, but also until we are also saying it. And people who have never met Scott in their life are repeating his catchphrases.
Yeah.
Jacob, right? No, Jacob met Scott the day he left.
all kinds of other friends of ours. But Scott's most particular catchphrase is, "That's AIDS."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Tilt.
ever inconvenienced, he just says, "That's AIDS."
That's
Troll.
it.
but
Troll.
yeah, that's troll, that's tilt, that's cancer,
And we all
whatever.
kind of do that to some degree.
Well,
Still.
Scott has not been in this house for a few months now, and some of our roommates never even properly met Scott in person. But now everyone in this house, even people that have never met Scott that are just casual friends of ours, occasionally start picking up, "That's AIDS,"
Yep.
at any mild inconvenience, just because it's been said so many times. You start saying it yourself.
Yeah, that's the way of the world.
I love how we haven't discussed any of the topics in the podcast group chat, which is
Yeah.
fine.
That's fine.
It's
That's
fine.
great.
No, it's fine.
There's
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
always more topics to pick up another
I don't even
time.
know how this started.
But yeah, Scott is something else. Like one time on the same train of thought, he plays Hearthstone a lot. It was
While driving.
it was an easy game for him to play at work. Just so you know, he's a pizza delivery man like myself. So he can just play it on his phone while he's delivering pizzas.
So chill.
One of the characters in the game is like, "Give us the money. Don't try anything.
Hey,
Pipsqueak." And no one else plays Hearthstone.
No.
No.
But
Oh,
no.
God.
Scott
Fuck.
would just say that. Unprovoked, randomly, we're just walking around Walmart,
Oh, God.
shopping.
He
and
wouldn't stop saying it at Walmart.
Scott
And
is just marching around Walmart, just saying those same 4 lines forever.
I was with y'all, and I had to go get something from a section of the store, and I went and I got it. And I picked up my phone, and I was about to call either you or Scott to be like, "Oh, hey, where are y'all? I'm gonna meet back up with you." And as I pull out my phone, and the distance of the store, I hear, "Hey, Pipsqueak," and then I'm like, "Oh God." And I get out to like the part in front of like all the checkout stations where everybody walks by in Walmart. And I look to my left, and I just see Scott holding the like pushing the basket with one arm, and then using his right arm to like emote with, and he's like, I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember the movements.
Give us the money and all that, and he was like doing that like loud, not even like afraid of like bothering anybody, any of the dozens of people walking
Scott
by him.
is one of the most inconsiderate people.
Oh, hands down.
Fuck yeah.
It's not even that he's deliberately inconsiderate. He just doesn't even.
He doesn't care. Doesn't think about it.
He doesn't think about it. It doesn't come to him that other people don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah, that other people exist.
Yeah.
There's a rush order at Pizza Hut. Scott wobbles into the store. Hey, can you make me a double pepperoni thin crust large pizza, extra baked with mozzarella cheese on the crust? I'm like, Scott, I got like 5 orders to take care of. I'm the only cook right now. He's like, no, you can make it right now. Just put it in. I'll be back in time. It's like, Scott,
Yeah.
I can't fucking do it.
Mentally, he has no peripheral vision.
No.
Janae, what was your first like instance of meeting Scott?
Scott said a slur to him.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
called me
that-
the N-word.
Really?
Yeah.
He calls everybody the
That's-
N-word.
that's-
That's his first thing. What's up,
Yeah.
N-word?
Anytime a new
Hard R.
person meets Scott,
Wow.
usually first impression,
He
he
was-
just walks up and is like, "What's up, N-word?"
And he says
That's
it
the
like
first thing he said to you.
That's the
He
first thing
said
he said
it to me
yeah.
like underwear on, like walking down the stairs, like
That's
no
usually-
I remember
shirt.
that.
That's
I remember
usually
that.
it.
He was in his underwear. I came up the stairs and he said, I think Robbie was like, oh, this is Junaid. And he's like, sub N-word. And then
Oh,
that was
no.
it.
No. Okay, well, that was my first in person, but my first like
Jeez.
ever interaction. He added me on Snapchat. He sent me a message saying "What's up," and then I didn't open it because I was like, okay, who is this? I forget. And like later throughout the day, like when I'm going to bed at night, he's like, "Why don't you respond to me, bitch?" And I was like, I who are you again? He's like, I'm your roommate. And then he goes, and then he texts.
He what?
He texts me, and he goes like, "So is it true that you don't masturbate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really." He's like, "Why?" And then I'm like, oh, "I just don't. I just don't want
Why?
to."
That's a Scott question.
That is a
Yeah.
Scott
Is
question.
he already knows the answer to the question he's about to ask you,
Yeah.
but he asks you anyways.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. How did you forget he was your roommate?
I don't think I forgot. I think I was just like, is he gonna be in the house or is he gonna be a buddy in Austin?
You have to remember, pre-Austin Israel added our entire
That's true.
following
That's
list
true.
to his followings,
That is true.
just because he thought he would meet our entire extended family and friend groups
Yeah.
when moving here. Which, hey, I like the optimism. I like the.
I mean,
I
to
like
some
the
extent,
outlook.
yeah.
Yeah.
Though some people were definitely creeped out by it.
Yeah,
I
have you
didn't
seen the
care
movie
much.
Parasite?
Yeah. I've been living under the floorboards.
Yeah. Of
But-
a friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott's a good friend.
And the guy hitting his head on the light bulb, trying to
he's-
communicate.
He's a unique character. That is That is the one thing that you can always definitely say about him.
Yep.
And so, I think I'd like to move on from Scott. As much as I love him,
Yeah, we
he's
talked about Scott for a little too long.
He is a
Probably like 20
vault
minutes
of
now.
stories that we have not even breached the surface of yet. But, dear listener, you may be wondering. So, you guys said Caleb's on the shitter. He couldn't find his mic. He's been taking laxatives. What's with that? Well, Caleb King has a very bad diet. I mean, he'll tell you he's like the healthiest person ever, but it's bravado. He has a pretty unhealthy diet. He mostly just relies on his super duper extra tough metabolism. And I am Robbie Bland, his best friend of years and years. We've been friends ever since the second grade. When I first graduated high school and moved from my hometown in Houston to Austin, Caleb joined me. We got a 1-bedroom apartment together. We had been friends for so long that like there weren't really any real boundaries between us. Like we shared a bed, shared a room, shared an apartment, basically shared everything for that first year here in Austin. And Caleb, for the most part, was living off of home-cooked meals from his parents until
I remember that. They would
Until-
like he would go home and get like a giant tubs of food.
Yeah,
and
his
eat.
parents mostly fed him.
Yeah.
They did a lot of other things for him too, like all of his laundry and, a lot of nurturing things that I didn't really get when I was a senior in high school. But that's details. When we first moved to Austin, Caleb's diet went to shit because he wasn't getting home cooked meals anymore, and he was just getting fast food all the time, or sometimes just not eating at all and just only eating Reese's peanut butter cups, the white chocolate variety, for a whole day, and not any real food.
He's got those in the cupboard right now.
That's his crack. Is the white chocolate Reese's. But he got constipated that first few months of living out there. Just was really backed up.
I remember this.
Had digestion issues. I wasn't having those problems because I
ate like a normal human being.
I ate relatively healthy considering my budget and my diet. So he was trying all kinds of different things, you know, basically everything except for eating healthier. He'd take laxatives and try all kinds of different tricks. I don't have a full list here, but the most notable of which was the enema. He got into trying to do enemas to flush himself out. Oh, boy. And in case you do not know what an enema is, it's where you put a little tube up your butt, and you're
explaining this like a assistant principal scolding, like calling your parent, and it's like
I found an enema.
I don't know. Do I want to say ass?
Your son said enema. What's an enema? It's when you take a tube
found
and
it
you
in
put it up there.
We found it in
But
I don't want anyone to be out of the loop.
We found it in Caleb's locker today,
Through,
along with an AR-15.
do people
and a
still not
bomb
know what enemas are?
safe.
No, everyone knows what's an enema.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think everyone knows what an enema is.
Okay, if everyone knows what an enema is, I'll spare you those details.
You already said that.
Yeah,
But
enema is the detail. Go on.
Can you say them again, but in worse detail?
we'll continue the story. Mind you, this one-bedroom apartment was also a one-bath apartment. It was very small. The bedroom and the bathroom were connected. Door wide open, the bathroom door wide open. Caleb King is just on the floor in that tiny-ass bathroom giving himself an enema. And I'm watching YouTube videos or doing homework or whatever on my computer desk right by that bathroom door. And the entire time, Caleb really wants me to be a part of his enema experience. And he's like, Robbie, you should try this. Robbie, you should look. You should see what it's like. Robbie, look at me. Robbie. And the entire time I'm like, Caleb, stop. I don't want any part of this.
But he's not wrong though. When are we getting matching enemas?
Never.
I never plan on getting an enema.
Apparently, coffee enemas are a thing.
I don't
know why.
I don't want to have AIDS.
Ethiopian coffee enema.
I've given myself enemas by mistake before.
Mistake?
In that you would have sometimes, like I moved into my new house back home, and the hose they would use as the bidet was way too powerful.
Oh my god!
And you would use it, and it would just go up there. And you would just
a firefighter hose.
Yeah.
How does it feel the first time going up? Like, does it feel like, oh fuck, what the fuck, or does it feel
That was
natural?
the feeling, but like it goes on, and it's like it kind of feels amazing for a second, but then you think you have diarrhea, but then you don't, you know.
But yeah, he had more than one enema, I remember. I don't remember the specific count, but eventually he flushed himself out and got his diet somewhat together that he wasn't super constipated anymore.
Yeah.
And then the other day, he's like, dude, I just dropped 2 pellets in the toilet. And I'm like, oh, so you're constipated again. It's that diet catching up with you. And he's like, what? No, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And then, to no one's surprise, Caleb King is once again constipated and backed up and taking laxatives to flush himself out. Will he need another enema? Tune in next week to find out.
Guess so. How far are we in?
We got like a good, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes.
Okay.
something like
We're
that.
doing
We
story
started
night?
we started at the 4.
Okay.
So technically we can go until the 10, but it's whatever.
We can keep going. We still have topics.
Yeah. Like who would which detectives would find Light Yagami other than L
Okay, yeah.
of
That's
the Death Note?
I think-
that's a fun topic.
I think
So,
a fair
Light-
contender. It's obvious. There's
Hold on.
I'm-
So Light Yagami is from Death Note. Death Note, basically, you write someone's name in a notebook and they die. Light Yagami is a high school student, and he's killing all these criminals by writing their names in this notebook, and they're just dropping like flies. And then a government organization is like, oh, we have to put an end to this because it's illegal, because he's literally killing people with his notebook. And yeah, and so then they do that, and eventually, never mind.
To further elaborate, it's a Japanese manga and anime. Do not watch the Netflix adaptation. It is what you would call trash. The Death Note is a notebook that is owned by death gods or spirits called Shinigami. The Death Note that Light has allows him to see the Shinigami and talk with it. No one knows he's using a notebook to kill people. When you write a name in the notebook, you have to imagine the face that goes with the name. That way you're not killing like duplicates of people. And if you do not specify a cause of death, within 40 seconds, they have a heart attack, and that's it.
And he would usually kill with only heart attacks.
Yeah.
But he basically, he was a high school student, like the least susceptible or like the least suspectful person ever. So, so
Though he was the son of the police chief.
yeah, one of the smartest characters in the show was like got him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But who else could get him?
And so, in order to do that, let's retrace the detective L's footsteps in capturing Light Yagami. Because one of the most important things he did was determining Light's location. Because Light has the capability of killing anyone, anywhere in the world with his notebook. And so, L just simply saw, hey, all these people keep dying from heart attacks kind of in this region. Let's do a specific TV broadcast and see if he'll kill someone on live TV that's only been broadcast in one place.
And then there's a broadcast and is like, oh, hi, I'm L. I'm this leading detective. I'm going to stop Kira. And it's on live
Kira is Light.
TV, and it has a nameplate and stuff. So you see his name. And then he dies. And then that's how the real L knows that Light is there. So who could, like, who do y'all think would be a good enough
Who could make that
detective?
scheme?
This is
Not that specific one, but somebody who's
able to crack the case.
super hidden and doing bad things. Who could find him?
obvious answer. There's a video about this. I think Batman could do it.
I think Batman could
the
totally
Dark Knight-
do it. Yeah.
Batman could do it.
Yeah,
It'd be
for
too
sure.
easy.
Hands
All
down.
Unlimited
Yeah.
resources. Yeah.
He could do it way faster than the
Yeah.
people on the show could do it. It'd be nothing
Especially when you remember Batman, even like not alone, has agents all over the world.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
he's got Batman in Japan already. So
at all.
John Wick.
Do you think
Kidding.
John
No,
Wick
no,
could? I don't think John Wick
Wick
John
could.
Wick
is
would
just an
never do
assassin.
that.
No, John Wick is
He
an
would die.
assassin.
Yeah.
He would totally die.
I've
having
never
a
seen the
heart
Wick
attack.
movies, so I
Yeah.
have no
They're worth a
comment.
watch.
They are.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a heart attack.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna fucking die. In
I'm
40
thinking
Finna
seconds.
dying.
People keep asking me if I'm having a heart attack. And I'm thinking, yeah.
Scooby the Scooby Doo the
Mystery
Gang. Could the Mystery
Incorporated.
Gang-
Incorporated?
Okay, I think the Mystery Gang could find them if they were in the Scooby Doo world for sure.
No,
Oh,
no,
well,
real
of
world.
course.
Because that means
That fucking dog is dead.
that means like
Can the Death Note kill dogs?
it says person, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
later.
So I don't
Wait, if Light is in the Scooby Doo universe?
Yeah, if it takes place in the Scooby Doo universe, I think the Mystery Gang could
They
could-
would-
could-
Well,
could
yeah.
crack the case.
Well, the
pretty
protagonist
fast.
will always win in
They
the
would
universe.
just get
yeah.
Shaggy to like smoke like a doobie with light,
Well,
and then
but
he'd like
the
grab the
protagonist
notebook.
didn't win in Death Note.
That's true.
But it is also the Scooby-Doo universe where no mortal harm ever comes to the
Yeah.
gang.
Just
because
pull off the mask.
children's entertainment.
But Light
But,
would be like, ooh, and then drop his notebook, and then
Yeah.
they're like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy would just,
Bump
be
into
running
him.
around
Yeah.
like usual, and then bump into him. Then no, my notebook,
The
give that back.
the episode would start with them like bumping into Light, and then his notebook falls, and Shaggy just gets it by mistake and
Yeah.
just starts writing his diary in there.
And then sees Ryuk just fucking laughing. He's like,
I
oh,
lo-
Zoink Scoob!
I love
There's like a ghost
Daphne.
over there.
And then Daphne dies of a heart attack.
I love Daphne. What's going on?
No, but that'd be actually kind of really funny if Shaggy did get a hold of
Just
the Death
writing-
Note, because
just
then
writing out his feelings.
he
doesn't
sees Ryuk and no one else does.
Yeah.
He just
He's
thinks
like,
it's high.
There's a ghost over there, guys! And like everyone's like, Shaggy, what the fuck,
Dude,
dude?
stop smoking that shit.
Eventually,
Ghosts aren't real. They're
everyone-
just they're
He
just
uses
old
one of
white
the- He
men.
uses one of the papers to smoke it out or something.
they would do the thing where like everybody can see him at some point, the Shinigami, and they start like trying to pull off his mask and stuff.
He's just
Like
eating.
Zoink Scoob.
And then what is it, Ryuk?
Ryuk, yeah.
He develops like an addiction for Scooby snacks and not apples.
Oh yeah.
Would you kill him
uh,
for a Scooby snack?
Would you kill him
He,
for
he does his
Scooby
like
snacks?
evil little chuckle.
Unfortunately, outside of the Death Note universe, the Mystery Gang is generally seen as like world famous celebrity mystery solvers.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so if Light had any inclination that they were onto him, he's writing all their names down.
Yeah.
And Scooby-Doo, just for good measure, because a talking dog might be a person. The Death Note has really specific rules about who it can and can't kill. But even then, Scoob alone wouldn't be enough for the job.
Shaggy could just, or no, the talking dog Scoob could just be like a furry or something.
And for the Batman point as well, a key piece of whether or not you can stop Light depends on how anonymous you can remain.
Yeah.
How much is Batman
Can
covering that up?
Light connect Bruce Wayne to Batman?
No.
He would but he would also know he's in Gotham because most of his activities are there.
Yeah,
so that
it's-
it's a very much smaller area.
It's understood
Sure.
that Batman operates in Gotham,
Yeah.
but also Bruce Wayne goes the extra mile to conceal that identity of
He-
his.
Oh,
He'd
for
grab
sure.
like stuff from like Zantana,
Yeah.
like an anti-killing like spell or whatever the fuck.
Also,
Travel
one of my
to a dimension.
like favorite, I don't know if it's ever been like canon or not, is that like Bruce himself like goes into online chat boards just to be like, Bruce Wayne is Batman, guys, totally, and like make it sound like a complete conspiracy. Like he takes a picture of Batman and like Bruce Wayne, and then just like outlines shit on there just to discredit it already, and then people are like,
I'd like if they adapted that into
Yeah.
media.
I read like a post yesterday, and it's like he goes online and he draws over like the butt of Batman and the butt of Bruce Wayne. He's like, dude, their butts totally match. And
Oh
then
man.
That's really
people,
funny.
People see that and it like becomes in pop culture, and they're like, oh, you think Bruce Wayne is Batman? Do their butts match? Like
I could see like Robin or Nightwing like taking that mantle because
Yeah.
they're little kids.
I
doing
can
that.
totally see Bruce Wayne going the extra mile to get ahead of it already
Uh-huh.
and just throw out all kinds of conspiracies.
Who would win first, Light Yagami or Superman?
Well,
I think-
Superman is his weaknesses. Obviously kryptonite, but it's also magic, and isn't technically the Death Note magic?
Sure.
Probably.
So
Let's
then-
just say he would die from a heart attack. Let's say if he could be killed with a heart attack, he would.
I feel like given the rules of the Death
I'll
Note,
just say defeat. Who would be defeated first?
Killed by Kevin Spacey. Lex
I think
Luthor.
I think Light has a fair chance because he's anonymous, and Superman would not know
so
who to where to even go.
here's the cool thing. Superman has two names. He's Kal-El and Clark Kent. Which name applies?
Yeah.
There's
It would
no
be
way.
Kal-El. It would be Kal-El.
There's no way
Yeah.
that Light would be able to learn
Yeah,
Superman is from Krypton, he's Kal-El. That information is usually not
that's
out
true.
there,
That's
there.
true.
And
unless the demon gods have been watching over.
he might
Yeah.
be able to decipher Clark Kent,
But-
would Clark Kent do the job?
If Light had the Shinigami eyes, so he could see his name, easy win.
He would never do that though. But
Yeah, that's true. He would never do that.
Misa
Misa and
or
Mikami could do it.
Mikami. He'd probably be like, yeah,
But
look at him.
yeah, that's not.
Tell
that's
me
not,
his name.
That's not primarily Light doing
Yeah.
it. So let's just say that wouldn't count.
Because the same thing would apply to Bruce Wayne Batman
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So easy Batman win. What about I don't know. Have you all read The Watchmen?
I've read it.
Rorschach. Yeah, I was gonna
Could
say.
Rorschach do it? I think he could.
Yeah, because
he's
Rorschach
pretty
is
smart.
very
Yeah.
well hidden.
He's pretty
Like,
smart, and
he-
yeah.
He's
Do
usually
they-
has the mask on.
Did they
and
even come up with his? Don't tell me what it is. But do they say his name in Watchmen?
I think so. I think it's a W name.
Okay. Yeah, I think Rorschach could do it.
He could.
Seems like a smart
He has his
guy.
own journal too. So.
Rorschach
Yeah.
would like beat the fuck
Oh
out
yeah,
of
he'd
Light
be
if he
like,
caught
"You're
him.
scum," and then
Like
post fucking tie him up to like a fence post, and then
Yeah.
that's another thing is like Batman probably would not beat Light up
no
at
no
first
talk.
unless
Yeah.
he like is given enough of a reason because he's a kid and
Like
that's-
maybe he kills Alfred or something.
yeah, and like the Scooby Doo gang definitely wouldn't do it. But yeah, Rorschach, if you caught him, just like, oh, I think it's you, probably just kick this shit out of him.
Yeah.
At that point, what is a notebook gonna do for you?
Pretty
Who
much.
else? Who else could
Well-
be a fair?
We have been watching The Boys on Amazon Prime
The
lately.
Boys.
Adapted from The Boys comic book by Dynamite Entertainment.
Written by Garth Ennis and Mark Millar.
Garth Ennis and Mark Millar. I just
Wait, the same guy who did Kingsman?
Yep.
Oh, that makes
Uh,
me want to read it a lot more now.
who
Yeah.
Garth Ennis or Mark Millar?
Mark Millar.
Yeah.
Mark Millar
King-
is
Kingsman.
hit or
Kingsman.
miss.
Do you know Kingsman, the movie Kingsman?
Like the British movies?
Yeah,
Kingsman,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Golden
yeah, I do
Circle.
remember.
Yeah.
Just Kingsman.
Yeah.
And
The
there's-
spy movies.
Spy.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
But-
there's going to be The Kingsman or something. Or Kingsmen. I don't know. It's going to be a prequel to how the agency started.
Okay.
We just finished watching The Boys season 1 in 2 separate sittings, 4 episodes in each sitting.
Yep.
Pretty good time, and we were debating about whether or not the main cast in The Boys would be able to take on Light. That is Billy the Butcher, Huey, Frenchie, and
Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk,
Mother's Milk.
MM.
or MM. And so, to set the scene a little bit, in case you haven't seen the show, Billy the Butcher is just he's an archetype of a character. He's that angry, bitter, just angry,
Unfiltered kind of guy.
edgelord British guy in a trench coat. And he wants to kill super people because he's mad at them for what they've done to him in his world. Huey's kind of an everyman, worked at an electronics shop. Very resourceful, very quick on his toes, very good with improv.
MM and Frenchie are kind of a mystery. I think that's basically because of character development for MM. But Frenchie is not well known at all. Like they tried doing
They-
face scans and runs. There's no name, I think.
Yeah, he has no true
Nope.
public name that has been revealed yet that's
And,
attached to him.
With that, it's as well as like in the show they bring up like, oh, I got CIA and FBI files to find out
Yeah.
who these people are. So their
Mother's
their
Milk,
faces aren't well known to the public
Yeah.
until obviously season 2. But
I think we're getting a little off topic.
Mother's
but-
Milk and Frenchie have history with Billy the Butcher. They were gun runners for the CIA, whatever.
Yep.
So this is a group of 4 dudes who are pretty resourceful and have done a pretty good job at taking down superheroes with their resourcefulness.
Mhm.
So what we were talking about, which spurred this topic in the first place, is could these 4 even figure out Light is stationed in Japan? That's the
I-
most important part.
Maybe, but I guess it would
I think they
depend
could.
on
I
if
think
they
they
were
could.
assigned. No, in terms of catching them, I don't know because they're a very emotional and fighting group.
But
And
but
Butcher and Billy loves to go out in public and just fuck around and destroy shit.
I think they could do it because Mello came close. Mello in Death Note.
Yeah,
came close.
but yeah,
and what Mello did versus what the boys are doing, it's very similar.
yeah.
'Cause- yeah.
They live in basements, they're underground. They're resourceful. Billy the Butcher has a lot of contacts who have intelligence. Assuming they get the inclination it's in Japan, which I think
they could.
I
get
think it's
pretty
possible
easily, yeah.
given if you are able to figure out the early kills. That was the most important thing, is figuring out Light's early kills. You figure out, oh, he's in Japan. Then you have to figure out where he is in Japan. Huey, the tech guy, is pretty resourceful with technology and like getting access to cameras and quote unquote hacking into things
Yep.
and getting video surveillance. So I could see them getting into like CCTV and figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, the FBI themselves in the Death Note TV show were on to Light as a suspect, given the fact that he is the police commissioner's son,
Yeah.
and would then have access to police resources. And I don't think it's a unreasonable stretch that they might also have that kind of inclination.
That's kind of why Nier thought Light was Kira. Too.
Yeah. And so they also don't play by the rules like at all. A big thing that was holding L back in the show that would hold Batman back is the law and righteousness and justice and doing it the right way.
Okay.
The boys don't give a shit. If they suspect Light, they will like bully the fuck out of this kid, like give him wedgies and turn him upside down and flip through his books. And if Light is not very smart, and he's got his book on him, which he doesn't always, they'd see Death Note and see names written in it, and then that'd be that. If not, they'd go into Light's house and search for it there at some point, break in. In the show, what they did is they're like, oh, we have your new internet service router provider thing. We got to set it up for you. Your landlord said it. They're like, we didn't order that. Well, we have the work order right here, and people just don't ask questions sometimes.
Or they just flip through it and they'll just see wall of text and then okay.
And so in that instance, they could probably figure it out.
Okay.
Not playing by the rules is a big part of
The last big
them
group
doing it.
is, could the Star Bandits do it?
Fuck no.
Yeah, we'd give up after a day or two.
No, we could not.
I mean,
We-
say no.
We had our own sort of pseudo murder mystery before
Quote unquote.
that we never.
No, I solved it.
We were never even. Well, Israel did get
Solved it.
a.
Yeah, what about
solution
Reddit
from it.
versus Light? Reddit would win.
Oh.
Easy.
Actually,
4chan?
I think Reddit would definitely. Okay, I think Reddit would come up with like at least 5 options, and I think Light would be one of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Reddit
Yeah.
and 4chan.
I think they would come
Redditor,
super close.
Redditors would narrow down a list of names. 4chaners would break into Light's house and bully him at school.
I think they would come really close, if not get it.
Yeah.
Like if all of like, you know,
They like
After-
set up like
after-
a flagpole.
After 4chan found a random flag flying in the middle of fucking nowhere through star patterns and cloud movements and flights. Yeah.
they would. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Anything else?
I think that's a good point to
But
wrap
what about
up.
the Star
Yeah.
Bandits us as characters? Like, no.
Israel would spend all day on the internet trying to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
Caleb King would say he wants to make a video about it and then forget or get bored.
Leave the mic at Poncho's.
If you have any suggestions for who could beat Light Yagami, feel free to email us at starbanditspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to support us further, feel free to go to patreon.com/starbanditspodcast. In the meantime, my name is Marcus Delzell. You can find me over on Twitter at Marcus Delzell.
You can find me at my name Jeff 151226
Stop
on
talking.
Twitter.
Dude,
Junaid.
stop. We were told to not bully you, but you make it hard.
I know.
My name is Junaid. At Echo Junaid.
Echo. Is it Echo?
Yeah, it's Echo.
This has been Robbie Bland. You can find me at Bland Clan Videos. That is my at all of my social media, and it's clan with a C.
Cool.
Why would? Okay.
Just so you don't
to be safe.
get the wrong idea.
Thank you for tuning in.
See you then.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
great night. Adios.
Cocksuckers.